Good afternoon. My name is Kenneth Walter, and today is February 18th, 2011. In 10 days, people will be leaving the county because they've been laid off. Over the past 8 months, during the budget, when the budget process started and took place, the legislators were trying to prevent the layoff of jobs. One of the things I've stressed for 2 years, that it does not benefit anybody when people lose their job. When the budget was finally adopted, the unions that were involved had not come to agreement with the county, but the county went ahead and adopted a budget that showed no layoffs and also no pay raises. There are many people who are non-union, who are self-employed, small businessmen, who work for small businessmen, who feel that this is the time for the unions to stand still on their wage demands. They have not seen raises, they've seen their incomes decline, and they just feel that everybody should just take a breather until we all catch up. I think it would be the best thing for the union movement to do this for the good of the whole. The unemployment rate in Sullivan County is about 9.5%, and it would be about twice that when you count those who no longer can report or collect unemployment insurance and those who are underemployed as a result of being laid off from a job. So the economy in Sullivan County, as far as the employment picture goes, is not rosy or good at all. When people lose their job, it not only has an effect, and maybe a traumatic effect, on their immediate family, but it also affects our main street. There's less money to be spent in town, less money to be spent for anything except food, clothing, and shelter. My feeling has been all along, it is more important to keep people employed than to have raises. There are many people in this county who have not seen a raise in a long time, and many more, and many others who have seen a decrease in their income. So to me it's important and prudent for those in the unions to figure out a way to stand still, work at last year's wages. I'm not asking you to give up what you've gotten in your bargaining agreement. I think that can be postponed. In the process of postponing it, those who retire this year, the retirement, when they finish up, should be based upon the bargaining agreement as agreed upon. Those who are not retiring should be postponing the receiving of that money, and there's ways to work it out. One of the ways to work that out is if the economy should turn around and the sales tax should increase coming into the county. 75% of that increase should go into the reserve fund, since we tapped that so heavily this year to balance the budget and not create any tax raise. And 25% should be used to fulfill the obligation for salaries, for the raises. At the end of 2 years, hopefully we can pay all that money back that you forego for this year. One of the other reasons that I believe that the labor unions should ask or should agree to a no raise this year is there's another part of our tax bill called school taxes, which is about 1/2 of what we pay in taxes every year for property. And if we lead the way, then we have every right to go to every school district and ask the teachers to do the same. Everybody stand down for a year, hold off at the salary that they had for the previous year. Another thing that the unions need to do, since they are a big force, is to try to find out why the state retirement system went from 8% what we pay an employee per year to 11%, which was last year, and this year they want 16% to be paid in. At 8%, it would take 12.5 years for them to collect from the local government the beginning salary of your first year. At 16%, it's down to 6 years, 3 months. I feel it's a tax in a different form on all of us. I do not know why the retirement system needs so much money, and they're planning on going up into the low 20s. All the county managers have been told that. The two responsible parties, the county via the legislature and the unions, have to sit down and come up with a way that people stay employed, that they make good on their negotiated commitments, even if it gets deferred, and it should be deferred for 1 year, and get it back in 2 after that. Whatever. At least to get over the hump. Because when we lay people off, it affects not only the immediate family, but it also affects Main Street. There's less money in the community, and it has a negative effect. There is still time to save the jobs. It is still time to save those jobs that basically don't have any bumping rights. So it's really hurting people who are management confidential and other positions. It's hurting families. It's hurting us as taxpayers because our services are not going to be as good as they have been. And we like our services. So I implore both the union and the county to get it together and figure out a way that everybody comes out whole. This is not a war and should not be a war. I don't feel it's a war. I know it's gotten a little hot in some ways because it's just the way the nature of the beast. We have to protect the people. We have to protect our unions. We have to protect each other. If we don't protect each other, who's going to protect us? Thank you for listening. Let your legislators know. Let your government employees that you know how you feel. If you know any union leaders, let them know how you feel. Again, it comes down to only one thing: keeping people employed. That's number one and the most important thing, because it is devastation to whoever loses their job. There's an email at the end if you want to contact me. Thank you again.